weekend, Luka Doncic inked a 3-year, $165 million contract extension, making him a Laker until 2028. Stephen A., your reaction on Slim Luka getting paid?
Very predictable. Wise move by the Los Angeles Lakers. They had no choice. He is the future. And a bad year for him, injured, out of shape. He still averaged 28, 8, and 7. The brother is all world, and if he gets in shape and shows up on the defensive side of the ball, he'll be even more prolific. In the end, he's the future. He doesn't have a year or two left like LeBron James. He's got a decade left, if not more. And so you had to make that investment if you're the Los Angeles Lakers. I am shocked that he agreed to just 3 years. That's when he was eligible for 4 years at $229 million. Next year, if he had waited to sign, he would have got $296 million. But he's represented by Bill Duffy, and we know Bill Duffy knows what the hell he's doing. And bottom line, if he signed a 3-year deal, he'd be in a position in a couple of years to make exponentially more dollars. And so he is who he is. They did the right thing. We all know what time it is. And who knows, LeBron James might have more than that, because in terms of his conditioning, he's obviously one of the greatest ever, period. But he takes great care of himself, of course. So he may be around for a bit longer than 2 more years if he so chooses.
It looks like Luka's following suit. Huge congrats to him.
From New York to the West Coast last week.
Both went from Europe to the West Coast.
That's true. Europe to New York to the West Coast. That's right.
And so I think, obviously huge news a couple days now since we've been away. But Luka signing a 3-year, $165 million extension. On the first day he signed it, it became obvious he set a schedule around it. The Lakers planned out a press conference, and then Mark Walter, the Lakers' incoming owner, if reporting is correct that it was him who did it, I'm not 100% sure. I just know what I read a little bit on this, but they had a post signing journey over to see the Backstreet Boys in Vegas at the Sphere. So the key on that whole thing, beyond those details, is that this was planned out. There were multiple players that went, suites were acquired. They were all wearing matching outfits. I don't know, is it a thing that everybody wears white when they go to the Backstreet Boys? Is that a thing?
I don't know. I got caught up in post Backstreet Boys Uber traffic in Vegas, and I've got a little PTSD from that. But it certainly is a thing that this was all orchestrated. The Jordan Brand tour was orchestrated to where he would be in LA for this. The other thing that is very, very clear is that Laura Beth Sager, who's Luka's long-term business manager, was Dirk Nowitzki's long-time publicist before that. She is essentially an extension of the Lakers organization at this point, which is the polar opposite of Luka's last year in Dallas.
That is interesting. I want to talk about that in a second, but I think the point is that Luka decided a while ago he was going to sign this extension, and then set his summer schedule up, and everything was lined up. The Lakers knew it was coming, and everything was done. And that isn't just important for logistics; it's important for where Luka is with the Lakers. He is, bonded to them. And that was not something we were 100% sure was going to be the case when the trade happened, because he was shell-shocked. We talked about this throughout the last 6 months, that the Lakers lost the ability to give him the Supermax, which is repeatedly locked down players in this spot, that he had no financial incentive to sign this summer.
No NBA contract financial incentive. Being the face of the Lakers, there's some financial advantages that come along with that.
And he could make a little bit. I mean, he could make more money, but then if he signed elsewhere as a free agent. But it's not just so fans know, it's not the cavernous difference that's between the Supermax and the regular extension. It's a small enough difference that you at least left open the possibility he could explore free agency.
Yeah, and so we also had talked about where it made the most sense for him to take a 3-year extension instead of 4, because he could re-enter free agency for the bigger number. But
with
McMahon,
the player option,
right? So for fans that know, he signed a 2-year extension with a 30-player option. He opts out after the second year. He can then sign a 5-year deal for, I believe, 400 and change. Yeah, foreign and change, and I believe the final year of the deal would be north of $90 million by current cap projections by Bobby Marks, which
Yeah, I mean that's 8
nice
years
amount of
from
money.
now. That's 8
Right.
years from now. But I would just say that I think the key is Luka is now locked in for the Lakers for the next 3 seasons. It was 1 season, and if it was 1 season without an extension, we're talking about minor emergency. Now the message is he's a Laker, and McMahon, he said things at his press conference announcing this, which they didn't have to have a press conference announcing this, and when you have a guy, we've seen this, especially a guy who is overseas based in the off season. Yeah. They didn't have to have a press conference, but he felt it was important to do the press conference. And so I just want to get your takeaways. You know him about better than anybody else in the media. Your takeaways from the way that all played out.
Luka is operating in a way, in conjunction with the Lakers front office in ways that he never did in Dallas, even though it was fully his intent to be in Dallas for his entire career. I think the shock of the trade has kind of woken Luka up to the importance of being business savvy in the NBA. He had never been this active in recruiting players like he was with DeAndre Ayton and with Marcus Smart. He had never been as active. Like, he certainly had voiced his opinion in the Nico Harrison years in terms of, hey, we need upgrades, or we need to get this type of player, that type of player. He had never been this kind of extension of the front office like he was, or like he has been, like he is right now, with Rob Pelinka and Jeannie Buss. Going back to what was it, Craig's at Hollywood, Wendy, where they had the meeting where you got us a real nice table one time by being a big deal. Going back to the meeting.
I mean, by the way, we had a reservation. We walked in. They just seated us a little early. It wasn't like we got that special of a treatment, but they were very kind. Very kind. There.
Good grub. Probably some gluten-free options if Luka's eating there. And listen, there's a lot of things that are different about Luka. Gluten-free is certainly one of them. Now, I will be honest with you. Like, Luka's done more media, I think, over the last week than maybe any full season of his career combined in terms of like outside things.
Just to jump in there for 1 second, I have to admit, I was aware he was going to be in New York because I knew he was going to this Rucker Park thing, but I have to admit I was pretty stunned when I got an alert that Luka Doncic was joining the Yankee broadcast the other day.
So, like, the men's health cover.
What is going on with this?
The men's health cover, and I guess there were 3 stories. I read one of them. It's a bit much. Like, look, it's cool that you've committed to conditioning. I don't think you needed the victory lap too. And this has been like a long victory lap. And essentially, he's sticking it to the Mavericks. Okay.
Lakers.
Huh?
You said sticking to the Mavericks.
Sticking it to the Mavericks.
Oh, sticking it to the Mavericks.
The whole revenge bod thing.
Yeah.
This proves the Mavericks. Look, Luka didn't have to get in shape to prove that the Mavericks made a bizarre decision. But Luka's body changing so much this summer does confirm that those conditioning concerns are absolutely real. Like, his sudden commitment to conditioning, like, bro, you're several years into your NBA career. I mean, a victory lap, I would say about time. And there have been, like, his second or his first summer after his rookie year, he had this kind of conditioning commitment. A couple of years ago when he got the body team, he came in leaner, but like, I don't know, man. The whole victory lap thing to me has been a little bit odd. And the article that I read, like, there was this suggestion, I don't know if this came from Luka or if this is just the writers, but that he was left without guidance. Like, he had to, like, during the summer, he was on his own. Trust me, the Mavericks would give him all the guidance that in the world. None of that guidance was feast every night and throw down a bunch of beers. And, he's European. Goran Dragic is European, actually from the same hometown. He managed to stay in great shape his entire career. So congratulations on your newfound commitment to conditioning. The accountability is on Luka. The accountability is not on anybody, not on the Mavericks, not on anybody else but Luka. And I'm glad that he's now taken those steps, but the victory lap has been weird.
Yeah, and I know you're not insinuating this, but there have been some insinuations from people that, like, there were lots of people around the league who were worried about his conditioning to the point where they wouldn't have offered him the Supermax last summer like Nico Harris, or the summer league Nico Harrison was going to do. This would like to clarify for people. There's one person in the NBA who didn't want to pay Luka Doncic a Supermax contract. It happened to be the guy who was running the team he was on. That's why he got traded. The idea that there was like justification for the Mavericks trading him, I'm sorry, that is not correct. All of your, and I know you weren't saying that, all of your points about the victory lap have been amusing. Part of the reason we are collectively amused by this is Luka, which is totally within his rights, has never exactly been Mr. I'm going to do interviews with anybody ever. And now he's doing interviews across the globe this week. It's been amusing,
especially like the fun interview, like the Yankee thing. And,
it's like going to the during the broadcast of the Yankee game. It's like, what? I literally was like, what is happening? Why is he talking to Michael Kay and Paul O'Neill?
The other amusing thing about the men's health deal was the correction that, oh no, Luka did not actually have a 42-inch vertical 2018 combine. Actually, he did not attend the combine because he was busy. Good excuse, he was busy helping Real Madrid win the EuroLeague championship.
He was winning Final Four MVP of the EuroLeague, yes.
But the whole men's health thing was pretty bizarre, just to be honest. Like, NBA player commits to conditioning during the summer should not be like breaking news.
Yes. Well, look, at the end of the day, to your initial point, Brian, for all this other stuff we've talked about, if Luka had not agreed to this extension, you said it would have been a minor emergency. No, it would not have been a minor emergency. It would have been a 5-alarm fire, and this entire season would have been about what is Luka Doncic going to do next summer, right?
Yeah.
He would have probably been the biggest player to hit free agency since LeBron in 2010. If you're looking at, or I guess Durant in 2016 is the better one.
Sure.
That guy totally in his prime. No health issues like Kawhi in 2019. Obviously, he's coming off all the health issues before that. Everybody knew he was going to end up going to LA. He would have been that level of player hitting free agency. And this whole season was about what are the Lakers going to do? Are they going to be left holding the bag? What kind of moves are they